Have the top 2 tips you need to know to help your small business grow. Alicia and Heather are back with us. Great to see you guys sitting here at the set now. Thanks for all of your advice before. All right, Alicia, let's start with you.
So my top tip is don't be too salesy. So I say this to entrepreneurs all the time. I feel like often I hear them say, you know, if you don't invest now, the opportunity won't exist or nobody else can do what we do. And the truth is when you make bold statements like that, you risk losing credibility altogether. So the key is don't be too salesy, because the thing is, if something sounds too good to be true, we know that it probably is.
It's so true. Unless it is really true that you have to invest right now because I have another person coming behind. Don't say it like that, right? It sounds fake. And so if it's really true, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You have someone in the background.
Right, exactly. Start off managing expectations and what you're going to do, which is actually a great segue into my tip, which is, you know, keep focused on your priorities. I think oftentimes entrepreneurs are like, oh my God, I have so much to do. And you really, it's a very simple tip, but it's really important to stay focused on your priorities, because it's not always about doing more. It's about doing what you're doing the best that you can do it. And what happens is you're like, I'm over here and I want to develop the website, but I want to, you know, start my wholesale business and I want to do this. You really have to focus on the task at hand and prioritize that, do it the best you can do, and then move on, because you have time. You don't have to do it all tomorrow.
Yeah. So how do you put together those priorities? Do you have staff meetings where people are battling it out, fighting for their time, for their share, for their, you know, place on the list?
Yes, I think that's important to, you know, if you have a big staff or you have a small staff, definitely involve the staff on what parts of their division or what they're responsible, you know, for is important to them. What do they see as the priorities? But if you really sit back and you don't get too caught in the weeds, as entrepreneurs we do sometimes, and you do kind of take that top-down approach and look, you know, at the forest through the trees, the priorities are obvious. You know what you need to do. You have to have your supply chain set. You have to know that you're delivering the product, it's quality product, it's making it on time. You know, you have to make sure your margins are set. So these are just kind of fundamentals of a business that you have to focus on. And if any of those are out of sorts, you shouldn't be focusing on anything else until you get that set.
Well, one of the tensions I see when I talk to companies about priorities is marketing versus product.
Right.
Yes.
And you must see this all the time in the companies you invest in.
Well, I think it depends on the business, right? If it's a consumer-focused business, marketing is key, and you've got to get out there and reach the consumers, because if you're not making sales, then it doesn't really matter how much you're focused on the product. But if it's something in the tech industry, then the product is everything, right? That kind of drives it all. So you really have to be cognizant of what drives the revenues and the behaviors of the consumers in your industry and adapt accordingly. And to Heather's point about focus, sometimes it's helpful to have someone from an advisory board come in and kind of shake up your own view and be like, look, you're spending too much time in this area. You really need to get out there and shake hands and develop customers, or you really need to spend more time on the product. And so making sure that you're not just kind of in the weeds in your own area, and having some outside view give you perspective is key.
That's great advice, because, you know, when you're in it, sometimes you miss the obvious, and you just need someone to kind of come in, and you can use your friends, you can use people. We were talking earlier outside of your business. They don't have to be in your particular business, but just people that come in from the outside. Even I love to have people peruse my website and just give me an idea how their experience was, because I'm in it all the time, and that, you know, it's like reading your homework assignment. You miss the typo because you've read it so many times.
Exactly. Well, great advice. Thank both of you so much for coming on the program today.